Okay, so this should be about our last video. Probably the last one will be tying the knot and finishing everything up. So it doesn't matter if you start on the first letter or the last letter, but you need to decide which way you're going to go. I'm right-handed, so I think for me it'd be easier if I sewed, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I could start this way too. But I think I'm going to start with the Y, with the end letter. And remember, just like before, I'm going to start from the back. So this is where it's tricky. I have to figure out where that hole is, and I can't see it on the back side. So I have to kind of just be paying close attention to where my needle is, and I use my thumb, but I have to make sure that I don't poke myself. So once I get it in there, right, that would be hole 1. Then I'm going to go down to 2. And this is just like we did before, but it's on a smaller scale. And we're going to go back up through hole 2, actually hole 3, and then back to 2. So the back stitch, sometimes we jump 1 forward, or 2 forward, 1 back. A little bit off. So if you have to make corrections as you go, that's what you will do, because you can tear the paper later. But wherever it goes through the fabric, we want it to still look like your word. So we're going to go up through the back to where we came from. Was a little bit off. There we go. Okay. So this is where I'm going to be putting on the slow, or excuse me, the sped up version of this. And you can watch me sew it. If you have a lowercase I or a lowercase j, then to make this little dot up above, you're just going to come up near where you want the dot and then go back down somewhere close to it, but not directly back in the same hole. And then you should have a nice little dot on the top of your I. Okay, so I was really close to getting done, but I ran out of thread, and I got the AMILY, but I did not get it. I do not have enough thread to do the F. So I'm going to switch to gold. If you are thinking, Miss Fields, I want all of my letters to be one color, then you would have to write in a little smaller handwriting. That would help. I was just a little bit off. It does take a lot more thread to do a back stitch, but we want to be able to read it. So when you are ready to tie off, right? So I have to start up a new color, but I need to tie this off in the back. So we're going to do the same type of knot we did before. So I'm going to create this loop right by where I finished sewing. Then I'm going to take the tail and put it through the loop. Okay, come on, cooperate, tail. Like a dog chasing its own tail. Okay, so I've got the tail through the loop. Now, if I want the knot to be really close to the fabric, I need to grab the needle in the other hand, and I'm going to just hold the put the needle through the loop as I pull it. And if I put the needle right where I want the knot, and then I'll take away the needle. Kind of like when you're tying a knot for a package. If you've ever wrapped a gift before and you have someone hold that knot because you want the knot to happen as close to the package as possible. So if I want to double it up, same thing, make a loop, put the tail through the loop. It's being a little bit unruly. There we go. Okay. So now I have the slip knot, right? But if I just pull, it's going to make the knot is going to be way off. So once again, put the needle into the knot, bring the needle closest down, pull slowly, right? So you can control how fast it goes. And now my knot is there, and I can get my scissors and snip it off. And I can snip this off. Okay, so now I need to thread my gold thread and finish off my letter F. And then we're going to get to remove the paper. Okay, so I finished sewing, and I can take off these pins now. I ended up having to go from gold to silver because I started with silver, and it's really pretty. It's hard to tell. So I don't think it'll matter if you end up, if your word is too big, you can use both colors and then save yourself a little bit that you can use for the hanger. So once you're done, we're going to tie the knot off on the back, and then we're going to rip off that paper and get to see the finished design. So when I'm ready to tie my knot, right, I can make my loop. And this is where it's a little tricky. I have a really long tail now, so I got to bring this long tail in through the loop, and then I'm going to hold that loop still so I can pull that long string through, and then I can pick up my sewing needle and put it through the loop to hold its spot, and then push. I want to get it as close to the end as possible so it doesn't come unraveled. Okay, and then I can double knot it, and I'll do the same thing again. Once I've made that knot close, I can grab it and slowly bring it in, lay it right on top of the last one, and then I can snip it off and be done. Okay, come on, scissors. All right, so now I'm going to put my sewing needle also back in the foam so I don't lose it. So all my needles should be in the foam, and now I'm ready to tear this off. So I'm going to give it a little bit of help. So I'm going to just start tearing right near where the sewing is. And I'm going to, I want to gently tug. There's already holes there, so it should come off pretty easily, but you might have to do a little bit of pulling. If you want to make sure your stitches stay put, then it helps to kind of hold on to your stitches a little bit. Just, and there we have it. So I've got my word family, and now I can work on the hanger.